water supply interruptions to its customers after severe thunderstorms damaged power lines earlier this week. Most areas in and around Gauteng have been experiencing water problems as the province's reservoirs have been critically low due to high water consumption. For more on this, I am joined by RAND Water Spokesperson Makenosi Maroo. Thank you so much for your time, Makenosi. We do appreciate it. Before we get into the issue of the storm that affected the Zekerbosch water treatment plants, that's obviously impacted water supply specifically this week, what were the other issues that RAND Water was experiencing and facing in the previous weeks? And I ask this in the context of, for example, South Hills, that has not had water since the middle of August.
Good evening, Heidi, and good evening to your viewers. Heidi, what we were experiencing for the past few weeks, it's not only the south of Johannesburg, it's the entire Gauteng in terms of supply. We have been experiencing high consumption, and we have been advising our consumers, obviously municipal customers and consumers, to use water sparingly. We know around this time from spring up until end of summer, it's a high peak season for us. So the consumption tends to be high around that time.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, because Joburg Water has given the same explanation about why they have been unable to get their reservoirs to the necessary capacity to provide water to customers. But surely this is not the first time or the last time we are going to be in a spring season, in a warmer season, where people are going to start using a lot more water. Is this the only reason that RAND Water has been basically unable to keep up with filling up its reservoirs because of the high consumption? I find it very difficult to believe that that is the only reason that you have not been able to keep up because of such a high demand. How high has the demand been that you have been unable to fill your reservoirs?
Heidi, maybe let's just put things into perspective. RAND Water is able to supply water. Like we're saying, around this time, the water demand always outstrips the supply. To give an example, we have even increased the amount of water that we supply. We supply over 4,300 megaliters per day. We are close to 5,000 megaliters per day. We're talking about millions in terms of amount of water that we supply. So we have even increased our supply, but still the consumption is high. And you asked a valid question to say, is it really consumption? Is it the only thing that is a problem? We suspect that also the water leaks, that, I mean, you've seen around, if you drive around Johannesburg and other areas in Gauteng, there are leaks. There's water that is being just being let go, obviously, in the streets. That is clean water that is not being accounted for. RAND Water has released it from its reservoirs, and it has been accounted as water that has been supplied to various municipalities. So we are also asking municipalities to look into the infrastructure to fix the leaks and to actually account for non-revenue water.
Okay, I'm going to speak about the leaks in a short while. I want to go back to the high consumption, because I'll tell you why, Makenosi, and I'm going to harp on this point because we have been out on the ground the whole week. A number of reporters have been speaking to communities, and communities have indicated that some areas have not even had water since end of July, beginning of August. That is not a season of high consumption. High consumption probably started beginning of, I see you shaking your head. Why?
No, I'm actually I'm surprised. Actually, I'm reacting. If you're saying from end of July, we're not even aware that there's an area that doesn't have water. I mean, that's quite a long time. I'm hoping that the area has reported what is happening to their municipality. As RAND Water, we have been supplying water.
Okay, so let me just go back to the question of high consumption, because it started warming up, I would say, maybe the first, if not the second week of September. So at what point did RAND Water realize that there's a very high level of high consumption and it's at an alarming rate, and this is why you have not been able to supply the necessary water to Joburg Water, for example?
Right. Heidi, we monitor our systems on daily basis. We communicate with municipalities. So as soon as we see that there is a peak or there is a high consumption for a particular area, we communicate. So for Gauteng now, we are communicating with various municipalities. So for me to identify and say for Gauteng, it was on this particular day, but beginning of spring, that's where we realize that there is a peak, and it's a normal peak. That's why we communicate every year, please use water sparingly, and please maintain your infrastructure.
Okay, let's go back to the issue of leaks. Yesterday, Joburg Water told us that they have about 24% physical loss of water because of leaks and burst pipes. And given the average that Joburg Water should have, it should be at 10%. That is almost over double of what they should be at. How concerned are you about these leaks? You're saying you also suspect that it could be because of leaks that we have this water problem in Gauteng. How much of it is the problem, other than the high consumption?
We are concerned, Heidi. If we look at an average for the entire system, actually looking at Gauteng and other provinces, we are losing over 40% to water that we are not be able to account for, that is non-revenue water. So you can, it's close to half of what we are supplying. And we're very concerned, and we are asking municipalities, we're having meetings with them. We are also assisting where we are able to assist in terms of maintaining their infrastructure. For example, with Emfuleni, we are there. We are assisting Emfuleni. So we're really, really concerned about a high consumption and leaking infrastructure.
40% is a huge percentage, Makenosi. And I want to ask you, you're saying that you're engaging with municipalities, but are they understanding the severity of this? And which municipalities are losing the most? I mean, 40% is a huge number to lose water.
All right. Yes, we are engaging, and they are understanding the severity. Remember, other municipalities, they are struggling to collect revenue. So I cannot speak on their behalf, but at our meetings, we do understand that some of them are struggling to collect revenue. That's the money that they should be using to maintain their infrastructure. So they understand the severity of the challenge. But also, we are saying as Rainwater, where you are not able to maintain your infrastructure, speak to National Treasury, speak to Rainwater, but we need to fix the system because we are working on an integrated infrastructure.
Can you tell us which municipality is struggling the most with leaks?
Emfuleni, hence we have been asked by Ministry of Water and Sanitation to assist. Emfuleni is struggling. I know that Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, there are also challenges in Tshwane. So almost all municipalities, it differs in terms of percentages, but Emfuleni is leading in other municipalities.
Okay, I want to ask you, Makenosi, to really take this province into your confidence and tell us if Rand water system is stable, because there's a huge concern that we are going to end up with water crisis that we have with the electricity crisis, and that will really be catastrophic, because with electricity you work your way around it. With water you cannot. It's water is life. Hospitals desperately need it, clinics, schools, everybody needs water to survive. Are you able to tell us if you are confident enough to say that Rand water system is stable and that there were some glitches, but you have since sorted it out?
Heidi, from Rainwater, speaking on behalf of Rainwater, I can say with confidence that we are confident that our system will be able to supply water. It's not a question of not being able to afford. We are able to afford in terms of maintaining and looking after our infrastructure. The system is stable. We are supplying water. We have even increased the amount of water that we supply to various municipalities.
Okay, and then just in closing, Joburg Water yesterday in its briefing said that it's because of Rand water, unable to, supply water to reservoirs. You are now telling me that in actual fact, everything is sorted out. So it's basically the responsibility of Joburg Water and various municipalities to sort out their issues, to provide water to areas specifically in Joburg and Gauteng, for example, in Midrand, and in the south of Johannesburg that don't have water, to basically sort their issues out. On your side, it's sorted out. It's Joburg Water and municipalities that need to get their house in order. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, Heidi. But we are also working with municipalities in terms of assisting to balance their system. Because remember, as we supply bulk water, but we are also assisting various municipalities to ensure that residents do have water. So we're not just saying, look, it's your problem as municipalities. We know that the problem started when we had an issue or a challenge at the Zekerbosch water treatment plant. So we are assisting municipalities. It's not just meetings, but we are there on the ground assisting municipalities.
Sorry, I just want to quickly get some clarity. Was the damage at the Zekerbosch water treatment plants significant? How bad was it? Because we just keep hearing about damage that was caused, but what actually happened?
All right. What happened is the power lines were damaged by thunderstorms. So as a result, we could not pump. Some of the reservoirs eventually they ran dry because we couldn't pump. So we managed to restore power. I think a day or two later, we started pumping water. However, as we've always indicated, it takes time to fill up the reservoir. It takes time for the system to recover. Hence, we experience the challenges that we experience in Gauteng. And we have been communicating with our customers. We've also been communicating with the residents.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for your update. We do appreciate it. We've been really struggling to get Rand Water on, so we do appreciate your time this evening and just providing that clarity for us. That was Rand Water spokesperson Makenosi Maroo giving us an update on the current water crisis in Gauteng.